Chapter 18 Body Fluids and Circulation. I. Organisms which circulate water through their body cavities from surroundings are porifera, coelenterata, porifera, coelenterata, porifera, coelenterata. 2. Lymph also helps in the transport of certain substances. T. 3. Blood consists of plasma-informed elements. Plasma-informed elements. Plasma-informed elements. 4. Plasma is dash-colored. Straw. 5. Plasma constitutes nearly dash of blood. 55 to 60%. 55 to 60%. 55 to 60%. 6. Proteins in water constitute dash and dash of plasma respectively. 6.6 minus 8.9%, 90 to 92%. 6.6 dash 8.9%, 90 to 92%. 6.6 dash 8.9%, 90 to 92%. 7. Major proteins are fibrinogen, globulins, and albumins. Fibrinogen, globulins, and albumins. Fibrinogen, globulins, and albumins. 8. Fibrinogen function. Coagulation of blood. Coagulation of blood. Coagulation of blood. 9. Globulins function. Involved in defense mechanism. Involved in defense mechanism. Involved in defense mechanism. 10. Albumins function. Help in osmotic balance. Help in osmotic balance. Help in osmotic balance. 11. Plasma without clotting factor is called serum. 12. Formed elements constitute dash percent of blood. 45%. 45%. 13. Identify the formed elements in blood shown in diagram. I. Diagram. I. A. RBC. B. Platelets. C. Eosinophil. D. Basophil. E. Neutrophil. F. Monocyte. G. T. Lymphocyte. H. B. Lymphocyte. Diagram. I. A. RBC. B. Platelets. C. Eosinophil. D. Basophil. E. Neutrophil. F. Monocyte. G. T. Lymphocyte. H. B. Lymphocyte. Diagram. I. A. RBC. B. Platelets. C. Eosinophil. D. Basophil. E. Neutrophil. F. Monocyte. G. T. Lymphocyte. H. B. Lymphocyte. 14. Most abundant cell in blood is RBC. 15. RBC count in a healthy man is 5 to 5.5 million of RBC per cubic millimeter. 5 to 5.5 million of RBC per cubic millimeter. 5 to 5.5 million of RBC per cubic millimeter. 16. RBC are formed in dash in adults. Red bone marrow. 17. RBC are devoid of nucleus in most mammals and are biconcave in shape. Nucleus, biconcave. 18. Hemoglobin present per 100 milliliters of blood is 12 to 16 gm. 19. EVG, lifespan of RBC is 120 days. 20. RBC are destroyed in spleen. 21. Leukocytes are white in color. F. Colorless. 22. WBC are nucleated. T. 23. WBC count is 6,000, 8,000 per cubic millimeter. 6,000, 8,000 per cubic millimeter. 6,000, 8,000 per cubic millimeter. 24. Leukocytes are short-lived. T. 25. 2. Categories of WBC are granulocytes and agranulocytes. Granulocytes and agranulocytes. Granulocytes and agranulocytes. 26. Examples of granulocytes are neutrophils, eosinophils, and basophils. Neutrophils, eosinophils, and basophils. Neutrophils, eosinophils, and basophils. 27. Examples of agranulocytes are lymphocytes and monocytes. Lymphocytes and monocytes. Lymphocytes and monocytes. 28. Neutrophils are dash of total WBC. 60 to 65%. 60 to 65%. 60 to 65%. 29. Eosinophils percent is 2 to 3%. 2 to 3%. 2 to 3%. 30. Basophils percent is 0.5 minus 1%. 0.5 minus 1%. 0.5 minus 1%. 31. Lymphocyte percent is 20 to 25%. 20 to 25%. 20 to 25%. 32. Monocyte percent is 6 to 8%, 6 to 8%, 6 to 8%. 33, dash and dash are phagocytic cells which destroy foreign organisms entering the body. Neutrophils and monocytes, neutrophils and monocytes, neutrophils and monocytes. 34, basophils secrete histamine, serotonin, heparin. Histamine, serotonin, heparin. Histamine, serotonin, heparin. 35, dash are involved in inflammatory reactions. Basophils, basophils, basophils. 36, dash are associated with allergic reactions. Eosinophils, eosinophils, eosinophils. 37, dash resist infections. Eosinophils, eosinophils, eosinophils. 38, lymphocyte types are B and T, B and T, B and T. 39, platelets are also called thrombocytes, thrombocytes, thrombocytes. 40, platelets are produced from megakaryocytes, megakaryocytes, megakaryocytes. 41, normal platelet count is 150,000 350,000 platelets mm-3. 150,000 350,000 platelets mm-3. 150,000 350,000 platelets mm-3. 42. Define antigen. Chemicals that can induce immune response. Chemicals that can induce immune response. Chemicals that can induce immune response. 43. Universal donor is 0 negative, 0 negative, 0 negative. 44. Universal recipient is AB positive, AB positive, AB positive. 45. Donor group of B blood group is B0, B0, B0. 46. Donor group of AB blood group is A0, AB, B, A0, AB, B, A0, AB, B. 47. The Rh antigen got its name from rhesus monkey, rhesus monkey, rhesus monkey, rhesus monkey. 48. Rh antigen is present in 80%, 80%, 80%. 49. Erythroblastosis fetalis condition can develop in the first child. F. 50. Erythroblastosis fetalis condition develop when mother is Rh way and child is Rh plus way. Mother, way, child plus way. Mother, way, child plus way. Mother, way, child plus way. 51. Rh antigens of the fetus do not get exposed to the Rh way blood of the mother in the first pregnancy during the gestation period. T. 52. The reason for it is the two bloods are separated by the placenta. The two bloods are separated by the placenta. The two bloods are separated by the placenta. 53. During dash, there is a possibility of exposure of the maternal blood to small amounts of the Rh plus way blood from the fetus. Delivery. 54. Erythroblastosis fetalis causes dash and dash to the baby. Severe anemia and jaundice. Severe anemia and jaundice. Severe anemia and jaundice. 55. It can be avoided by administering anti-Rh antibodies in the mother after delivery of the first child. Anti-Rh antibodies, mother, first. Anti-Rh antibodies, mother, first. Anti-Rh antibodies, mother, first. 56. There is the formation of a light purplish scum at the site of injury. F. Reddish brown. F. Reddish brown. F. Reddish brown. 57. Thrombin is formed from dash with the help of the enzyme dash. Prothrombin, thrombokinase. Prothrombin, thrombokinase. Prothrombin, thrombokinase. 58. Fibrins are formed from dash with the help of the enzyme dash. Fibrinogen, thrombin. Fibrinogen, thrombin. Fibrinogen, thrombin. 59. Coagulum is formed by a network of threads called thrombins. False, uncis fibrins. False, uncis fibrins. False, uncis fibrins. 60. The process of clotting during coagulation is activated by the release of Ca from tissues or platelets. Ca. 61. Mechanism of coagulation is activated by the release of dash from tissues or platelets. Ca. 62. Exchange of nutrients between blood and tissues occurs through lymph. Lymph. 63. Lymph has the same mineral distribution than plasma. F. Same. 64. Lymph is a colorless fluid. T. 65. Lymph is also an important carrier for hormones. T. 66. Fat is absorbed through dash in the dash present in intestinal villi. Lymph, lacteals. 67. Open circulatory system is present in arthropods and mollusks. 68. 68. Annelids have an open circulatory system. F. 69. Why is a closed circulatory system more advantageous? Because flow of fluid can be more precisely regulated. Because flow of fluid can be more precisely regulated. Because flow of fluid can be more precisely regulated. 70. Crocodiles have dash-chambered heart. 4. 71. In fish, the heart pumps deoxygenated blood. F. 72. A section of the human heart is shown in diagram. 2. Label A to N. Diagram. 2. A. Aorta. B. Pulmonary artery. C. Pulmonary veins. D. Left atrium. A. Bundle of His. F. Left ventricle. G. Interventricular septum. H. Apex. I. Right ventricle. J. Chaudae tendineae. K. AV node. L. Right atrium. M. SA node. N. Vena cava. Diagram. 2. A. Aorta. B. Pulmonary artery. C. Pulmonary veins. D. Left atrium. A. Bundle of His. F. Left ventricle. G. Interventricular septum. H. Apex. I. Right ventricle. J. Chaudae tendineae. K. AV node. L. Right atrium. M. SA node. N. Vena cava. Diagram. 2. A. Aorta. B. Pulmonary artery. C. Pulmonary veins. D. Left atrium. A. Bundle of His. F. Left ventricle. G. Interventricular septum. H. Apex. I. Right ventricle. J. Chaudae tendineae. K. AV node. L. Right atrium. M. SA node. N. Vena cava. 73. The heart is derived from dash, mesoderm. 74. The heart has the size of a clenched fist. T. 75. The heart is protected by a double-walled bag called double-layer pericardium. 76. Pericardium encloses a fluid called pericardial fluid. 77. Interarterial septum is thin, thick. 78. Interventricular septum is thin, thick. 79. Atrium and ventricle of the same side are separated by dash, atrioventricular. 80. Atrioventricular septum is made of thin, thick fibrous tissue. Thick fibrous. 81. Right chambers are divided by bicuspid valves. Tricuspid. 82. Dash valve is also called dash. Bicuspid, mitral, tric, bicuspid have by names. Bicuspid, mitral, tric, bicuspid have by names. Bicuspid, mitral, tric, bicuspid have by names. 83. Semilunar valves are present between right ventricle and pulmonary artery and left ventricle and aorta. Right ventricle and pulmonary artery and left ventricle and aorta. Right ventricle and pulmonary artery and left ventricle and aorta. 84. The walls of ventricles are much thicker than that of the atria. 85. A specialized cardiac musculature called dash is also distributed in the heart. Nodal tissue. 86. The conducting system of the heart is shown in diagram. 3. Label A to F. Diagram. 3. A. SA node. B. AV node. C. AV bundle. D. Left bundle branch. A. Purkinje fibers. F. Right bundle branch. Diagram. 3. Diagram. 3. A. SA node. B. AV node. C. AV bundle. D. Left bundle branch. A. Purkinje fibers. F. Right bundle branch. Diagram. 3. A. SA node. B. AV node. C. AV bundle. D. Left bundle branch. A. Purkinje fibers. F. Right bundle branch. 87. Describe the location of SAN. Right upper corner of right atrium. Right upper corner of right atrium. Right upper corner of right atrium. 88. SAN full form is sinoatrial node. Sinoatrial node. Sinoatrial node. 89. AVN is present at dash corner of left, right atrium. Lower left corner of right atrium. Lower left corner of right atrium. Lower left corner of right atrium. 90. A bundle of nodal fibers called dash continues from the AVN which passes through the dash to emerge on the top of the dash and immediately divides into a right and left bundle. Atrioventricular bundle, AV bundle, atrioventricular septa, interventricular septum, atrioventricular bundle, AV bundle, atrioventricular septa, interventricular septum, atrioventricular bundle, AV bundle, atrioventricular septa, interventricular septum. 91. The branches which give rise to mid fibers throughout the ventricular musculature are called Purkinje fibers. Purkinje fibers. Purkinje fibers. 92. Dash can generate a maximum number of action potentials in nodal tissue. SAN. 93. Nodal tissue is auto-excitable. T. 94. SAN action potential generation rate is 70 to 75 per minute. 70 to 75 per minute. 70 to 75 per minute. 95. SAN is called the pacemaker of the heart. SANOD. 96. The heart averages beats dash in a minute. 72. 97. The events of a cardiac cycle is shown in diagram. 4. Identify the given events. Diagram. 4. A. Atrial systole. B. Ventricular systole. C. Atrial diastole. D. Ventricular diastole. X. Systole. Y. Diastole. Diagram. 4. A. Atrial systole. B. Ventricular systole. C. Atrial diastole. D. Ventricular diastole. X. Systole. Y. Diastole. Diagram. 4. Diagram. 4. A. Atrial systole. B. Ventricular systole. C. Atrial diastole. D. Ventricular diastole. X. Systole. Y. Diastole. 98. AVN generates action potential to stimulate atrial contraction. F. Sanders. F. 99. Atrial systole causes an increase in blood flow into the ventricles by dash. 30. 100. Dash transmits action potential to the entire ventricular musculature. Bundle of his AV bundle. 101. Ventricular systole coincides with atrial relaxation. T. 102. Ventricular systole causes closure of dash and dash valve. Tricuspid and bicuspid. 103. Decreasing ventricular pressure causes closing of dash, semilunar valves. 104. Tricuspid and bicuspid valves open due to pressure exerted by the simultaneous contraction of atria. F. They open by pressure in the atria exerted by blood which was being emptied into them by the veins. F. They open by pressure in the atria exerted by blood which was being emptied into them by the veins. F. They open by pressure in the atria exerted by blood which was being emptied into them by the veins. 105. Blood moves freely from atria to the ventricle during joint diastole. T. 106. Time period of a cardiac cycle is 0.8 seconds. 107. The two atria do not contract simultaneously. F. 108. Duration of ventricular diastole is 0.5 sec. 109. Duration of atrial diastole is 0.7 sec. 110. Duration of joint diastole is 0.4 sec. 111. Duration of atrial systole is 0.1 sec. 112. Duration of ventricular systole is 0.3 sec. 113. Blood pumped by the heart in one beat is called stroke volume. F. Blood pumped by one ventricle is called stroke volume. F. Blood pumped by one ventricle is called stroke volume. F. Blood pumped by one ventricle is called stroke volume. 114. Each ventricle pumps out dash of blood which is called dash. 70 milliliters, stroke volume. 70 milliliters, stroke volume. 70 milliliters, stroke volume. 115. Cardiac output is the volume of blood pumped out by the heart per minute. F. Volume pumped by a ventricle. F. Volume pumped by a ventricle. F. Volume pumped by a ventricle. 116. Heart rate of athletes is greater than normal individuals in resting state. T. 117. Cardiac output of an athlete is much higher than an ordinary man. T. 118. Normal value of cardiac output is 5000 milliliters. 5000 milliliters. 5000 milliliters. 119. Stroke volume is also called beat volume. 120. First heart sound is lub, it is L low pitch, longer, lub, it is L low pitch, longer, lub, it is L low pitch, longer. 121. It IDs due to closure of bicuspid and tricuspid valves, due to closure of bicuspid and tricuspid valves, due to closure of bicuspid and tricuspid valves. 122. Second heart sound is dub. Dub, 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 dub. 123. It is due to closure of semilunar valves, due to closure of semilunar valves, due to closure of semilunar valves. 124. A standard ECG is shown in diagram. 5. Identify the peaks I, E, I, V, V. I, P, E, Q, E, R, I, V, S, V, T, I, P, E, Q, E, R, I, V, S, V, T, I, P, E, Q, E, R, I, V, S, V, T. 125. The machine is called an electrocardiogram, which is used to obtain an electrocardiograph. F. Electrocardiograph is the machine. Electrocardiogram is the graph obtained. F. Electrocardiograph is the machine. Electrocardiogram is the graph obtained. F. Electrocardiograph is the machine. Electrocardiogram is the graph obtained. 126. ECG is a graphical representation of the dash activity of the heart. Electrical, electrical, electrical. 127. The patient is connected to dash no of leads. 3, 3, 3. 128. The 3 leads are connected at 1 to each wrist and 1 to the left ankle. 1 to each wrist and 1 to the left ankle. 1 to each wrist and 1 to the left ankle. 129. Why is the 3rd lead connected to the left ankle? Why not the right ankle? Because our heart is tilted towards the left, so putting a lead on the left ankle will help measure things more accurately. Because our heart is tilted towards the left, so putting a lead on the left ankle will help measure things more accurately. Because our heart is tilted towards the left, so putting a lead on the left ankle will help measure things more accurately. 130. For a detailed evaluation, dash no of leads are attached to the dash region. 12. Chest. 12. Chest. 12. Chest. 131. P wave represents dash of the atria. Depolarization. 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 132. Depolarization represents contraction, relaxation of both atria. Contraction, contraction, contraction. 133. QRS complex represents depolarization of ventricle. Depolarization of ventricle. Depolarization of ventricle. 134. Ventricular contraction starts right at Q. F after Q, F after Q, F after Q. 135. T wave represents repolarization of ventricle, repolarization of ventricle. Repolarization of ventricle. 136. Dash wave, of beginning mark wave. Q wave marks the beginning of systole. Q wave marks the beginning of systole. Q wave marks the beginning of systole. 137. Dash wave marks the end of systole. T wave marks the end of systole. T wave marks the end of systole. T wave marks the end of systole. 138. By counting the number of QRS complexes that occur in a given time period, one can determine the heart rate of an individual. T. 139. When does atrial repolarization occur? During QRS complex. During QRS complex. During QRS complex. 140. A schematic plan of blood circulation in humans is shown in diagram. 6. Label A to F. Diagram. 6. A. Lungs. B. Pulmonary vein. C. Dorsal aorta. D. Body parts. A. Vena cava. F. Pulmonary artery. Diagram. 6. A. Lungs. B. Pulmonary vein. C. Dorsal aorta. D. Body parts. A. Vena cava. F. Pulmonary artery. Diagram. 6. A. Lungs. B. Pulmonary vein. C. Dorsal aorta. D. Body parts. A. Vena cava. F. Pulmonary artery. 141. Identify the blood vessels X, Y, and Z shown in diagram. 7. Label A and B. Diagram. 7. X. Vein. Y. Artery. Z. Capillary. A. Smooth muscle. B. Lumen. Diagram. 7. X. Vein. Y. Artery. Z. Capillary. A. Smooth muscle. B. Lumen. Diagram. 7. X. Vein. Y. Artery. Z. Capillary. A. Smooth muscle. B. Lumen. 142. The 3 layers of arteries and veins are tunica intima, tunica media, tunica externa, tunica intima, tunica media, tunica externa, tunica intima, tunica media, tunica externa. 143. Tunica intima is made of squamous endothelium, squamous endothelium, squamous endothelium. 144. Tunica externa is made of fibrous connective tissue with collagen fibers, fibrous connective tissue with collagen fibers, fibrous connective tissue with collagen fibers. 145. Tunica media is made of smooth muscle and elastic fibers, smooth muscle and elastic fibers, smooth muscle and elastic fibers. 146. Dash layer is comparatively thin in veins. Tunica media, tunica media, tunica media. 147. The two types of circulation in our body are pulmonary and systemic circulation, pulmonary and systemic circulation, pulmonary and systemic circulation. 148. Systemic pulmonary circulation provides nutrients, O2, and other essential substances to the tissues and takes CO2 and other harmful substances away for elimination. Systemic, systemic, systemic. 149. The hepatic portal vein carries blood from dash to the dash. Intestine to liver, intestine to liver, intestine to liver. 150. For the circulation of blood to and from the cardiac musculature, a dash system of blood vessels is present. Coronary, coronary, coronary. 151. Human heart is neurogenic, myogenic, 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 myogenic. 152. What is myogenic heart? Auto-regulated heart by specialized muscles, auto-regulated heart by specialized muscles, auto-regulated heart by specialized muscles. 153. Special neural center in dash moderate cardiac function through the uns, medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata, medulla oblongata. 154. Sympathetic nerves increase, decrease heart rate. Increase, increase, increase. 155. Sympathetic nerves can increase the strength of ventricular contraction. F. 156. Speed of conduction of action potential is decreased by the parasympathetic nervous system. F. By parasympathetic system. F. By parasympathetic system. F. By parasympathetic system. 157. Adrenal medullary hormones can also increase cardiac output. T. 158. If a person has BP equals 120/80ths of a millimeter of mercury, he is normal. T. But it should be false if considering medical texts as normal BP is less than 120/80ths not. Is less than or equal to 120/80ths. T. But it should be false if considering medical texts as normal BP is less than 120/80ths not. Is less than or equal to 120/80ths. T. But it should be false if considering medical texts as normal BP is less than 120/80ths not. Is less than or equal to 120/80ths. 159. Dash is also called pumping pressure and dash is also called resting pressure. Systolic, diastolic, systolic, diastolic, systolic, diastolic. 160. BP equal to or greater than dash shows hypertension. 140, 90 to 140, 90. 140 90ths. 140 90ths. 161. If a person has BP equals 115/95ths of a millimeter of mercury, he is normal. F. For normal both systolic and diastolic should be less than 120/80ths, if anyone is increased it is abnormal. F. For normal both systolic and diastolic should be less than 120/80ths, if anyone is increased it is abnormal. F. For normal both systolic and diastolic should be less than 120/80ths, if anyone is increased it is abnormal. 162. High blood pressure leads to dash, affects vital organs like dash and dash. Heart disease, kidney and brain. Heart disease, kidney and brain. Heart disease, kidney and brain. 163. CAD is also called atherosclerosis, atherosclerosis, atherosclerosis. 164. Atherosclerosis and arteriosclerosis are not the same terms. F. 165. Atherosclerosis is a subtype of arteriosclerosis. T. 166. Atherosclerosis, also called dash, is caused by the deposition of dash. CAD, deposition of calcium, fat, cholesterol in fibrous tissues. CAD, deposition of calcium, fat, cholesterol in fibrous tissues. CAD, deposition of calcium, fat, cholesterol in fibrous tissues. 167. Angina pectoris occurs when not enough oxygen is reaching the heart muscle, not enough oxygen is reaching the heart muscle. Not enough oxygen is reaching the heart muscle. 168. A symptom of angina pectoris is acute chest pain, acute chest pain, acute chest pain. 169. What is heart failure? When the heart is not pumping enough blood to meet the requirements of the body. When the heart is not pumping enough blood to meet the requirements of the body. When the heart is not pumping enough blood to meet the requirements of the body. 170. Angina occurs due to conditions that affect blood flow, blood flow, blood flow. 171. Congestion of dash is one of the main symptoms of heart failure, so it is also called dash. Lungs, congestive heart failure. Lungs, congestive heart failure. Lungs, congestive heart failure. 172. What happens in cardiac arrest? The heart stops beating, the heart stops beating, the heart stops beating. 173. What happens in heart attack? The heart muscle is suddenly damaged by an inadequate blood supply. The heart muscle is suddenly damaged by an inadequate blood supply. The heart muscle is suddenly damaged by an inadequate blood supply.